Yeah, hit those record
The
buttons.
ghosts are on the holiday.
Not yet. So I'm going to cover the history, and then we're going to spread out. This is the layout of the way this one's going to work. So I'll give you the history just enough. This is where I start withholding information on purpose. I don't want you guys looking for specific things the whole night, but you need to know enough about who you're trying to talk to. That's the reason why I tell you some of the history. I'm not going to be giving you questions here, by the way, like what color was George Washington's white horse. You will be getting the answers from your communicators, and it's not going to be suck it and then Christmas music. With that said, once I give you the history, we'll spread out. I'll do a few round robins with everybody, and then regroup us to give you all of the answers to show you how it all ties together if we have anything going on at all. So this space used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion. The mansion sat in the front of the space facing East Bay Street, and Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant, came all the way across, and we are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. That's the layout of the lane. So, who the heck were these people? Charles and Eliza, they had a son named Charles, they had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks, in case nobody was paying attention. That's why we look for those secondary clues. In the event that somebody hears the name Charles, I need to know which one it is by an identifier, like what we discussed with Randy. They are 3 different men. I need to know how to address that specific Charles. Moving on. The son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. That's a big deal for us. I hate politics, especially this close to an election that we just had. So if I don't give the gentleman their recognition, though, they will normally do it for me in a nasty manner with their own voice coming out of spirit box. So seen it plenty of times. I give it to them. We move on. We're going to discuss Eliza instead. Much better history. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it slowly because if you're going to ask her how old she was, don't expect numbers from the colonial days when young ladies got married at like 12 and 14. Think of today's standards because the husband was over double her age. So just kind of put that in perspective. So she married him because her father was over in England. Dad thought he was dying over there, and he's trying to bring all his children home one last time, and Eliza didn't believe he was dying. So she stayed put right here and got married. It is 1744. You do not get married in that particular year to earn a green card. We are not a country yet. There's no such thing. She married him out of love. This is a true love story. There is nothing horrific about this location. If anything, it's a place of respect. We'll see that here in just a moment. Anyway, she was correct. Dad did die right away, and instead he started sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. That's a plant, it's blue dye, makes your blue jeans blue. Most of you are wearing it tonight, because that's what we use it for. When Eliza got her seeds, no idea what to do with them. She had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it going. It's not always hot here. You guys are all wearing jackets tonight. And then she had to learn how to make the dye, moved it to a cash crop plantation, got a hold of Dad and told him that the rice plantation prices were going downhill. They were going to make a killing with the indigo. And we now have an international business line during colonial times, something unheard of. So, that's the boring business stuff. Let's get into the weird shit. That's why you're here. So, I am going to pass out questions based off of trying to keep this place as controlled as possible. The reason why is because I'm going to give you some things not to do. First off, no yes, no questions. We've already talked about that. Be respectful if you're going to go rogue and ask your own questions, just because of who this young lady was. And do not, please do not, poke the bear about her children. Don't even bring them up. I will tell you why before we leave the space. So hopefully you respect that. Now, the questioning is going to be based off of what type of spirit box you have. So if you go rogue, just one of those 3 rules. So with the 2 that Erica and Emma have, you're going to have the same set of questions. So you 2 are going to be focused on her death. So she's pretty open about talking about it. And the 4 major questions that we get answers to: how old she was when she died, what she died from, where she's buried, and which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So those are the 4 majors. Pallbearer. So those are the people that carry the coffin to the grave. It's an honor to be able to do that. So, like I was a pallbearer at my grandmother's funeral because she wanted me there. So that was kind of how that went down. So again, if you ask anything else, just be respectful about it. So we're going to go over to Emily's for just a second. Am I getting names right? Have I screwed up anybody's name yet? Perfect. So Emily, your device only gives us like 1 to 2 syllables at a time. So you're going to be focused on the mansion. It's not here anymore. So you're going to go after what happened to it. If you get the what, we often get 2 or 3 numbers of the when, of the exact date of when that occurred. Keep in mind, everybody with a communication device, that if you're asking questions, your answers can go anywhere. If there were only 2 people here tonight, there would be at least 2 communicators plus a camera, so that way there's 3 lines of communication open for our spirits and hearers. So that's how I like to operate. So if you're getting the what, somebody else might get the numbers of the date. Just kind of keep that in mind. And last but not least, you can go after anything about the marriage questions that I asked, as far as and how old she was. The thing will give you numbers as well.
Okay.
But how old they were when they got married, how long they were married, anything you want to ask about their marriage, because of course that's a happy time for them. But you're also going to be focused on which Eliza we're dealing with. There were two.
Okay.
Chuck married two different women named Eliza at 5 months
Easy to
apart.
remember.
Well, it's kind of a jerk move. Let me tell you why.
Well,
The first Eliza died in January. 5 months later, he marries the one I just told you, with the first wives' message. Yes. So, both of them, ironically, have the same set of initials. They both have a maiden name that starts with the letter L. So I'm going to tell you. Figure out which one we're dealing with. So
is there a George in this story?
There is a George in this story.
Well,
That came up earlier. I thought
George was on here.
Okay. How far back?
It said George and then Core.
This ghost likes Cardi B.
This doesn't know who the artist is.
Yeah.
I'm going to want to see the rest of that list once we spread apart, once I get everybody going.
Yeah.
Because technically there are three
Bad.
Georges that are in this story that I didn't tell you about.
It said it was Randy's person friend, wild, called George Core.
Core is in like C-O-R-E.
Like the core.
Got it.
Core of your soul.
Okay.
Body.
All right. Well, everybody has their questions. Let's get Emily unmuted and you guys spread out. And we're going to stay within these confines over here. I know some of you are like eyeballing behind me. This way we can all keep an eye on each other and stay within the vicinity. So I'll let you guys get rolling. See how this works. Eliza.
So just ask the questions out loud.
Yeah. Eliza? Yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm going to say the right name.
Yeah.
Do it. What's up?
Liza, is that where you died?
Alex, just so you know, your camera's not always in real time catch. I do send, because your screen is small.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to see. So I do upload everything to YouTube as one video per camera. I
No worries.
splice it all together, and
Mhm.
then that's when I review it. So if I'm not following up with you as much, that's
You're
the
good.
point. I figured you're gonna be playing around with those lights and everything else anyway.
Yeah, you're good. I did see something. It was really weird. I was looking over towards the trash can, and against that back wall over there, I saw something that kind of looked like a person, and then it like disappeared. And I tried to zoom in on it, and there wasn't anything there. But it was probably about 2 minutes ago, so 8 minutes into this video or something.
Okay. I do watch those in double time. So if something jolts up like super fast, I can go back in quarter time and frame by frame it for you guys and literally get the screenshots.
Cool.
And I also brighten shit up. With that one, I've learned I have to put like a little bit of a filter on it just to brighten it up a little bit.
Sure.
Just because I mean it is dark.
Yeah. There's not a lot for it to reflect off of out
Yeah.
here, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm trying to adjust this far throw that you have here,
Yeah.
which is really cool because I was able to like spotlight on that back wall even.
That's cool.
But yeah, it could have been the shadow of like the white door has the paint that's scratched off of
Yeah.
it, and I thought that might be it, but something just caught my eye when I was looking over there, so it's
See if
odd.
it catches my eye. And if I miss it, you can email me later. That happens all the time. What have you heard? Tell me all the funny things you've heard.
When I asked how old were you when you died, I said in my bed.
Might not always be a direct answer either.
Yeah.
Remember, hearing things over there,
Right.
you might ask, hey, how old were you? And she might get that number.
Okay.
So it's not always a direct answer. It could come up 5 minutes later. And if she's using the radio channel, it's not available right away.
Right.
So,
Okay.
see if that works. So that's why I think all the silly things you're hearing.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard anything else? Yeah.
I feel like there was something I just don't remember.
Some people use their phones to take notes.
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay. That's a good idea. I'll do that.
Can you tell us what president carried you at your funeral?
Well, that's how she died, right? Roman Chapel, 4969. Roman Chapel.
I don't know anything about the but they're all very, very specific.
Yeah.
Baby's first ghost hunt.
What?
It's a baby's first ghost hunt.
Yeah.
So I saw. I was.
I can go like playing around with different things on that. I don't think I've done with the dark beam flashlight yet in this location with no cars.
Yeah, I'm trying to just get it to bounce off something at the back wall. It's really cool because it, like, I was standing over in that corner and I got a clear image of the trash can and everything, so it threw it long enough for me to.
And it's 5K, but YouTube can't handle 5K. So I have to dummy it down to 4K, unfortunately. I know it sounds bad, but YouTube can't handle it.
No.
One video, Apple we all know and trust can't handle the high film.
Right? If anyone's here, my name is Alex. We're just trying to learn more about you. I want to learn some of your story. If you wanted to show yourself on this camera, let me know that you're here with us. Get some radio in there.
I'm going to leave the song there for a second.
Is that Alexa?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna rekindle. So go ahead and hit those stop buttons so you can relax. How if you guys were wondering, it doesn't bother us.
Really?
That's what I need.
Okay.
That's
Oh.
Ratatouille.
Oh, okay.
So you heard Mike.
I want to see that.
How far back did you hear his name?
Right in front
Coming
of
out of
those
the market.
markers.
Moreover.
You okay?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
I'm busy.
In what way?
It just washed over me real quick. I just felt dizzy for a second.
So, you have seats.
Yeah, no, I'm okay now. It was just like I was looking down at the camera, and then all of a sudden I was like, I feel dizzy. Yeah, like that. But
So, I was walking in here.
I started to feel weird when we walked down here, and then that just like that hit me.
So I come down here. This is a staple for me. Okay, just so you guys all know, this isn't like a random spot. I'm here every night. I'm walking down, and I felt like somebody was pushing on me, and I had like that vertigo feeling. And then on our way out, like one of my guests asked me, like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I just felt like somebody pushed me." I try not to put my feels into this. You guys can see the point. I can't prove anything. On the way out, somebody, this person didn't know about it. She was like, "Somebody's like pushing me, like as we were leaving." And she's like, "I just felt like a weird vertigo feeling." And the other lady looked at me, and she's like, "Same thing you had walking in," and it was about the same location. So I don't know what the hell's going on here. Definitely watch your numbers and see if you're getting anything weird. Anybody else want anything on it? Yeah, good. All right, so again, we're here to stir shit up. Let's talk about it. You're inside Philadelphia Alley. I'm going to bring up why it's called Philadelphia Alley, only because Erica's got the reason why. They named it Philadelphia because that's what the name is.
No. Yeah, I was wondering what you were going to say.
Oh, you just
Heard
kind
a
of
lot about parties.
no party. Definitely not party. Criminals, yes.
Not
So,
my beauty party.
but Philadelphia, we named it after a city that helped us at one of our many, many fires. So that's why this is called Philadelphia Alley. We had to change the name because this used to be called Duelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur in the city of Charleston, and dueling was illegal and stupid, and they just changed the name to Philadelphia Alley. You have the word fire plenty of times. I'll look up the exact year when they did that. Could have been in 98. I'm not sure. I'll dive in. Again, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, yeah, it was 98. I don't know. So anyway, cameras, in the event that another tour comes through here, I don't think they will. Again, Brandon was our last one in and out. Every ghost tour comes down here, and they all tell the same damn story. This guy normally follows me around up until the last spot that I used to take you guys. It's the only reason why I've kept this in for so long. Again, I change this every year by taking out one spot and adding in a new one. Again, I get a lot of repeaters, and they don't want to always see the same spaces. So with this one, I'm going to tell you the same story that every ghost tour tells, but I'm going to tell you a few extra details because you're ghost hunting. You're not just on a campfire marching on a ghost tour. Hey, you can hit that record button while you're in there, by the way. Just be mindful when people are coming in and out. It's just when people are coming in and out, even just regular tourists, again, just trying to take pictures of them. So, we're going to talk about duels. Here's how the story goes. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. In the event that one of the people at the Spirit Box hears the song Brown Eyed Girl while we're here, it is not coincidence. It is part of his name. We get it all the time. Anyway, Dr. Ladd moves here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. She just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of the cash that she has got. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money, so he tells Amanda to get rid of that doctor fellow. So, Dr. Ladd moves down here from Rhode Island to Charleston to prove that he's not after Amanda's cash. He's going to make his own. On his way into town, he had a coachman. The coachman set him up to be robbed and killed. It's like having a really bad Uber driver in today's world. Yeah, Yeah, I have to usually explain it when we have teenagers involved. So, exactly, they don't know what a coachman is. But anyway, somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen to the newcomer. The person walking by was named Ralph Isaacs. Do those initials sound familiar to anything else I've said since we've been here? Exactly, good job. So we've gotten the letters RI all the time on regular spirit boxes, so I bought another device. We're not using it tonight because it broke it a few weeks ago. Yeah, not by on purpose, but by accident. I was trying to fix it, and I accidentally put too many buttons. But anyway, what that device does is it actually works as a digital Ouija board. So anytime there's an EMF spike, like Julie's device, it gives us a letter. We've gotten RI, whenever I brought up Ralph's name, probably I would say 6, 7, maybe 8 times in the past year and a half since I've had it, but only on Ralph's name, not the Rhode Island. Now I know who it belongs to. Moving on. Ralph tells the newcomer, hey dude, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Why don't you come with me, and we are going to go to 59 Church Street where I have some friends that will rent you a room, and you'll be safe and good to go. The doc took him up on that offer, and the two gentlemen became friends. The longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he's making. Proving his point, he's not after Amanda's money, he's making his own. She got wind of this up in Rhode Island, and she's moving down, so they could be married. Dr. Ladd became known as the Whistling Doctor. This is why I hate whistling. Every haunted city you will ever visit is going to have a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. Ours just happens to be a doctor. I have some proof of him as far as the whistling goes, but every ghost story tells you to listen for the whistles. So why are we in Jeweler's Alley talking about a happy doctor? Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. So on the way home from seeing Richard III, they're discussing the new actress they just saw that was new in town, and Dr. Ladd thought she was great. Ralph did not. They start arguing, and Ralph is then insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. It got really ugly between the two of them, and they go their separate ways. But the next day, Ralph goes to his friends at the newspaper, and he places an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of shit. The doc saw this ad and rebutted. Let's go to Jeweler's Alley. Somebody's going to die. Remember, this argument started over an actress. I just like to point out how dumb she was back in the 1700s. Anyway, moving on. The two gents came down here back to back. They took their 10 paces. They turned, and Doc pointed his gun in the air and shot his one shot. He did not want to kill his friend. He just needed the courage to show up. That's often what happens at a duel. A lot of times it's off to the side, but you guys got the point. Ralph still has his one bullet. He puts it in the kneecap of the doctor. The doctor died. He fell to the ground. Ralph's not willing to forgive, and he proved his point. He walks away, but Doc's friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street, where he died 10 days later, November 2nd of 1786, after refusing medical treatment. Two things about the last thing that I just said. It is 1786. Gunshot wounds back then, a lot different than now, aren't they? Yeah. So he's also a doctor, guys. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself. But he failed because he died. So, again, every tour that comes down here tells you to listen for the whistles. We have 2 cameras and my voice recorder running right now. If we're going to get a disembodied whistle, more than likely it's going to show up on one of those 3 devices. That's a more than likely scenario. However, I can't tell you how many times, I've already told you how I actually spot check your guys' media. A whistling part of a song shows up when I'm going through the spirit box, and then the word doctor shows up immediately after. Happens all the time. I'm not looking for it, I just get it. So again, it just falls into my lap basically. Dozens upon dozens of times this has actually happened. Thanks for saying, like, I didn't shoot this one so fair. I'm just pretty perceptive on that, so it shows what happens when I take a few nights off. But if you walk all the way through here and turn on the voice recorders from your phone, because this is how quiet it is all the time. It could be a busy Saturday evening, and this is what it sounds like, and it's out. It's always like this. It's gorgeous. It's one of the most stunning places we have here in Charleston. But if you turn on your voice recorders, just remember every local knows the damn story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down this alley. So I can't drive past this alley without throwing a whistle down here. It's just something we do. So let's talk about how I got kicked out. This is the fun part. So, yeah, some of you couldn't wait for this damn part. Now, the alley didn't go all the way through the way we came in. I'm just also proving how much history I actually dive into for some of this in the research that I do. There used to be a wall about halfway between us and Cumberland Street. The reason why is because this was called Cow Alley. We're going further back than Jeweler's Alley. So this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. Cows, goats, and chickens were down there. So why am I telling you this? That means they started down by Queen Street and started building the alley slowly over the years, hundreds of years, to get to where we are now. Those bricks down on the other side are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there. And I used to take my groups all the way through to go show them how far we've come from history. There's a history lesson, nothing paranormal about it. Heck, kid's not staring at that brick. You already know how I feel about cemeteries. I'm not staring at, why he was there. So, November 26th of 2020, I took my entire group down there, and they all stopped and waited for something to happen. I'm trying to shoo them along because I know nothing's going to happen, and I'm also trying to be respectful because we were standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I didn't realize that we were out of bounds for tours. I was still new to this. So, the new owner of that mansion came out screaming his head off. My daughter was on the tour that night. She was about 14, and she thought it was absolutely hysterical that her father was getting yelled at. She was all about it. We moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on holidays, especially Thanksgiving, because I used to work in upper management for Walmart before I started doing this, and you guys fight over towels on Thanksgiving. You starved me for life. I will never work another holiday ever. I even took Halloween off this year. Good for me, right? So, well, it's the expectation's too high. We'll talk about that later. It gets really, really high. But anyway, the next day was the 28th of November. I called my partner that brought me into this, and she basically laughed at me when I called him up because he already got the complaint. And said, dude, you're not allowed to go down all the way. You're only allowed to go down halfway. It's considered residential past that. Names, nouns, numbers. Zoom in and out. Did you figure out the zoom in?
This one?
Goes left and right. There we go. It's subtle. See what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Right there.
Yep.
So,
There's a little bit of ACDC in there. I heard some thunderstruck.
God knows I'm skinny. It was a little kid's voice.
One of Sally's friends. That was very clear. Wait a minute. Hold on. story.
We gotta go tomorrow before we leave to go back home.
Upstairs, ladies' restroom.
Okay. Okay. The word existence just came up when you were
Of course not.
telling that story.
Anything else weird coming out of yours? Anything else besides that?
FBI whiskey, backyard 3, New York City. It's technically double shot of whiskey.
Heck yeah.
That's what's in there.
Get inside.
Right.
5979.
Do you remember the doctor's address?
What was that?
Do you remember the doctor's address?
No.
59. Remember?
Oh.
I'm a little excited about that. Alex, you got anything weird going on?
I thought I saw something over there, but I think it was just a bug.
Find out. Let's put it this way.
What was that?
Since Mike just moved up there, I'm going to give them a few minutes to get different footage, and then we'll wrap this one up.
Okay.
Again, this is the one I don't know everything about. That's why I'm writing down all the weird shit. They heard Kamala Harris and the name Timmy. So I don't know if there's a Timmy Harris here. That could be something
Yeah.
relatable to the story.
Absolutely.
Dying.
We are near a cemetery. I feel like Emma, yours is getting good reception. Like we're finally getting some words out of it. Nothing super relevant that I know of yet.
Stomach pain.
49.79. 300.
1-800.
What's the rest of it? What do I call?
What?
So what's the rest of it? What do I call?
Yeah, I know, right? What?
Whose phone number is that?
I know, right? 1054.
You guys got anything? I was waiting for you to grab some more footage up here. So I think we can, yeah. So we could probably call over this one, Alex, if you want to give that a break.
Sounds good.
So I'll set this up while I'm telling them what to look for. So when you guys are too loud, because again, it's very quiet out here, right? So your loved one is going to tap you on the shoulder if it's too loud. That means just quiet down. You don't need to stop.
Always loud.
Actually, we got dibs on this one.
People will put beds on it. So you are literally going to be telling us everything you're hearing. You don't know what question I'm going to be asking. The spirit boxes are going to be loud enough so you can't hear me. So Emma, with yours, once you get settled, move the spirit box off to the side so you know you're not cheating. I'm not going to say that you're going to do it, but you have the functionality to be able to mess around with the volume. So,
I was gonna say, if I need to, can I turn it down a little bit?
yeah.
Or
I
do you want me
don't-
to like reach over and tap
Yeah,
first?
But I don't want you to hear me at all. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
So,
So I'm gonna make it like that. But if it gets too loud,
you're going to be seeing, let me see what we have it set up for in a few days. Pretty sure you're just going to see like smoke moving around.
Okay.
Have you ever done virtual reality before?
Yeah, what do you call it? My kids.
Okay. So it's not going to be the Jurassic Park Call of Duty shifting face.
Yeah.
It's just going to be like almost like 2D, but off in the distance.
Yep.
And then every once in a while, you're going to get an image, a photograph, a cartoon, something like that in front of it. Just simply explain what you're seeing, because you're going to have two ladies trying to talk over you. If they're not saying much, which I don't think is going to be an issue, I'll ask you probing questions like two people push steps, and then I'll say, well, what do those people wear? I'll kind of direct it at you.
Okay.
And I'll say your name first, so you know it goes towards you. All you'll have to do on this is look straight ahead. It'll line up with you. This is your focus right here.
Okay.
Okay. Wait, we're not done yet. So when we're done, your loved ones will tap you on the leg. That means we're done. You take off your own gear. I will never touch you. Okay, so just gonna keep that in mind. We're gonna do this for 10 minutes. So blindfold and headphones. Let's do this. So it is 10:56. You're gonna sit. Right, you're gonna sit still the whole time.
Well, I might move my leg. I can do.
Ladies, can you hear me?
He's right.
What color is the blue banana?
I can hear you.
Okay, let's get you turned up a little bit.
What's that?
I'm gonna turn you up like a hair. You say when. Can you hear me?
Why don't you just say?
Yeah.
It's all the way up. Can you still hear me?
A little bit.
We're gonna go with that.
I can't hear anything if you're talking.
That's good. She did say you're right, and usually one of the first questions I ask is, Henry, what do you do for a living? So it's almost like he already knows I'm here. Henry, thanks for following us over here. Can you tell us where we're at, what building we're in?
Wait.
You can show us, Henry. You can ask what the building looks like, but if you want to show us in the blue box, that's Mike. You can see whatever you want us to see. Henry, if you're here, we're not at the park tonight. You gotta come find us. Tell us where we're at. What building are we in?
how far?
Yeah, we went a little far. Probably about
Don't know where this is going.
Henry, all of your work is being held here. That's why we came here. Can you tell us what's being held here? Erica's really struggling. I thought for sure she'd be. Henry, I've asked you a lot of questions about this new place where we're going to be doing this little experiment to try to talk to you. The zoning has changed for us. We can't go to the park anymore. Can you tell us where we are now? Show us an image. That'd be great. I'm sure Mike doesn't want to fall asleep. You do see the smoke right now.
Oh, yeah.
Henry? You kind of push through, Henry. Come find us. For where all of your work is being held. I'm asking you to verify what work is being held here. Wow, it first, the three people on the bench.
Memory. Year.
Henry, what year? Can you tell me what
I
year?
wait.
Henry, tell us what year would be a memory.
Hours. What's your budget?
Henry, I asked what building we were at and what work is being held here. Oh, by the way, Dr. Lab's code word, for those of you
Drink something orange.
his code word is purple, not orange.
Recorded.
He would normally follow us to the park where we normally do this because his house would have been right around the
Confession.
corner.
Writer.
I'll take that. Thank you, Henry. What's being held inside? What can we only see on Halloween, Henry?
Hey girl.
Henry? Can you tell us or show us? We would fully understand the picture at this point.
Is impulse running? Jablansky, I think.
Henry,
Fruit.
what's inside? That's the second time she's heard fruit tonight. She has the word apple. Henry, be more specific. I know apples
Miles.
can be red, but not always.
905.
Okay, fine.
No, that's not. Oh,
Oh,
back on. Back
sorry.
on. Okay.
You hit my leg.
I did.
She called her after you did not. What's going on?
New Zealand.
New Zealand. Henry?
November.
Cancer.
How long ago?
Oh, earlier.
Oh, way earlier. Yeah,
Man eater.
Henry?
Behind bars.
Behind bars. Lawsuit.
Sounds like there's something up.
Creeped up.
Collection.
Peppa Pig intro.
What did she just say?
Peppa Pig intro.
Oh. Okay. Henry, can you give us an image over here? That would be great.
50 million.
I also asked you for a year that
Electron.
would be a memory.
30.
Henry, we'd really like to have an image of where we are or what's being held inside. Mike is really curious because he doesn't know. And you need to tell him.
I'm pretty sweet.
Henry?
Someone's freaked out.
No. We've been at this for about 6 minutes so far, and you haven't given us much besides what you did for a living.
My friends.
What about your friends?
Into today's topic. 17.
Henry? I'm asking what work is being held in this.
I don't need your love.
Well, you're going to get it, Henry. Because we've been at this for about a year and a half. Actually, 2 years. And I'm going to continue to try to talk to you. Because your story is very interesting. But I want you to tell us what work is
Sarah
being
60
Wilkins.
months.
Was 60 months?
60.
Maybe 5 years. Louis was only 9 months, so that doesn't add up. But it was in the 1860s. Willie died in 1865. Close, but no cigar. In my
Building
book.
in 1774.
Great. Now I'm going to look up
All the
the
times you screwed me over.
I have never screwed you over.
So many kids suffer.
Any kids suffer. Which kids? Can you give us their names or whose kids they were?
Basic Carpenter Hall. 1701.
To break it, the building was built in 1701. I know it's
They're
not.
playing lots of music from like the 70s and 80s.
Okay.
4.
Henry, let's get an image from you. But you're not really wanting to play well over here.
Black smoke,
Yeah. Put something over the
821. Somebody I used to know.
Who? Who did you used to know? Is there a colleague you want?
49.
Is there a colleague you want to tell us about? Well, Mike is only seeing black smoke right now. Can you change that image for him?
Look for.
We're
Too
trying.
much.
Being a jerk,
So the morning.
Henry.
My girl. 2 Carpenter's Hall.
Henry. We'll wrap it up
New
early if you give
carpentry
us an
work.
image. Just want one image so these folks can see how this technology works. Tell us something about your work through imagery.
In the city.
We're more in the city than we would be in the park. We're running out of time, Henry. We got about a minute.
New space.
It is a new space. Any other words short for us?
Basketball. It's been stuck on basketball.
Henry going once. Can you tell us good night? Or give us an image? Henry going twice. Give us an image. Alright, let's go ahead and tap these ladies out. Mike, throw that thing off your face. Let's
All right.
verify you
Heard a
didn't
bunch
get
of
anything.
bells.
Let's verify you didn't get anything. Because sometimes it might glitch and then save an image that you never saw.
Okay.
I've seen it do that before. So I wish I controlled the ghosts. No images. So we had a couple of things that did pop up that like just struck my interest just because I don't know enough about this building yet. So you guys each said a year. One of you said 1701. You said 1774. I don't know what either one of those years means. But you guys, you did say writer at one point. We were discussing a writer. At the very beginning, you started off with you're right. And it's usually the first question I ask him is, what do you do for this? We were discussing a writer. So nothing else like pertinent came up where I was kind of super
About
excited.
a name.
What?
Like the name writer.
Well, what you said. Yeah. So Emma, with yours, there's a button next to your volume. I want you to go ahead and like push it in the opposite direction. So it turns the machine off. There we go. Now we know that that is actually saved. So I'm going to call this a bust, but a good start to at least a couple of things of what I'm trying to do with this gentleman over here. So with yours being stopped, I'm going to go ahead and take that. But we are going to end with one more little tail across the street. So just real quick before we allow Alex to actually take some footage, you can go ahead and stop your video at this point. And so everybody scan the QR code that needs to. It didn't connect properly, so again, you guys all showed up a little bit early, so we're probably still at like that 2.5 hour mark, I'm guessing. I won't know for sure until I get back to the office. Alright, so thermal next. Oh, you got it? And you guys will have to wait for the video, obviously, to see how that actually went down. There were a couple little things that could have like worked, but it was kind of a stretch. A little bit of a stretch. Julie, I'll take your word list.
These guys really like old music. That and Cardi B.
We're ending with pillow and 88 terms. And then we have dead apple. Interesting. Thank you.
Better than Dead Body.
It's true. So who else knows good? Did I screw up anybody's names tonight? Be honest.
Mm-mm.
That's important to me because I don't want you guys calling me Rick. You guys see the point? We're two different people.
Could be a Randy. His name's on the list.
Yeah, it could be a Randy. Well, the funny thing is I was waiting for another term to show up, just because I do have an uncle Randy that passed, and one of my nephews got married today, and his brother, they were like two adopted brothers because my grandmother was a foster mom.
Gotcha.
So she adopted two kids, and Randy and Robbie.
Okay.
Robbie was on on the call today for watching the wedding because it was like we were all from different parts of the country, so it was like a Zoom call to watch the wedding. Oh, you got like the steadiest hand. I think you got a job with me later, man. Maybe move down here.
I'm cheating by resting it on
That's okay.
the gate. So
But it looks
It's
perfect.
called working smarter, not harder.
But I almost
I'm-
like want zip ties to like mount that on there.
It's-
It looks perfect.
it's pretty stable, yeah.
Anybody else have beer? All right, go ahead and hit that stop button. Let's get that guy.